This is a serious issue. It's about the lives and the welfare of Papua New Guineans. And it's something that we in the opposition have not taken lightly. We've all seen and witnessed and experienced the decline in the socio-economic indicators, the rise in the prices. We're in a cost of living crisis. So as I start to change, because we anticipated our friends on the other side, the Honourable Treasurer in Government, who happens to be the Prime Minister, the Honourable James Marape, to be here this morning to engage in spirited debate about policy and about the welfare of Papua New Guineans and about what they've been doing in the last 5 years, how things will get better, or what strategies that they're going to apply now to mitigate the deteriorating economic indicators that we see all around. And this invitation was given to the Prime Minister on the 16th of April. It's more than 3 weeks ago. And a second reminder on the 2nd of May. And I'd like to take this moment to highlight this culture of ignorance, this culture of conformity within government, this lack of sensitivity to this national call for debate, for dialogue, for discussion, for deliberation. That this truly reflects a government that is not serious about democracy and forging a way forward, because they don't have all the answers, neither do we. That's why we're engaging with you, because you're feeling the pinch about what's happening in the economy. So I'd like to start off with you thinking about the price of rice and tin fish. Let me also say that the business community, elite members of society are considered key economic stakeholders. And we need to receive invaluable feedback from you so we can guide policy formulation and also guide our behavior and the decisions we make in Parliament as legislators. We don't have all the answers, therefore we have to effectively engage at all forums in a peaceful and secure manner that promotes democracy, promotes policy formulation. These issues of national importance, talking with the people who understand it best, you, not us. Right now, the Papua New Guinean economy remains a sleeping giant. After 49 years, we haven't effectively utilized the factors of production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, to create employment and growth in the non-extractive industry and achieve wealth and prosperity for our people. We have developed this myopia, this tunnel vision, focused purely on the extractive resource industry, gold, silver, copper, oil, gas, notwithstanding the fact that the bulk of our population are farmers and fishermen. We are an agrarian society. Our mainstay is agriculture. Yet we have not developed policies to focus on leveraging this fact, focus on agriculture, and break the shackles of poverty. If New Zealand can do it, why can't we? If we utilize the factors of production with acuity, we would now in 2024 be the food basket of the world, the biggest exporter of coffee, cocoa, and vanilla. We would have world-class downstream facilities for fisheries, timber, and copra, and we would create millions of jobs and put us on par with countries like Norway and Sweden for having the highest per capita income in the world. Unfortunately, our reality paints a grim picture, and we are so far from achieving this. So the paradox of being endowed with all this natural resource but still being so poor continues. Right now in 2024, we are over-leveraged at 64 billion kina in debt and a debt to GDP ratio that's almost 52%. Our inflation is at 5%, and the compound impacts of foreign exchange shortages, fuel shortages, this high inflation, and a loss of confidence has seen prices continue to hike up, creating a prolonged cost of living crisis that is affecting every Papua New Guinean. In 2024, we have the highest taxes on record and the highest borrowing since independence. And this has been made worse by the recent devaluation of the PNG kina. Yet we have nothing to show for all this borrowing in terms of job creation, foreign direct investment, or improved infrastructure in our health and education facilities. As the Honourable Beldanama alluded to, law and order, it's about expectations. It's about perception. When expectations are good, people spend more. People invest in the economy. When they see that things are tracking all right and then they can trust what's happening, they can trust the police force. This is how you attract investment. It's all about perception and expectations. When you start to see a deterioration in law and order, you can forget about attracting investments in the economy. Our fixation on the mining and extractive industry has prevented us from diversifying the economy to create a broad-based economy where we're able to focus on agriculture, manufacturing, and services. This must be the way forward for Papua New Guinea to leverage the 4 factors of production that deals with the bulk of the population. This is how we leapfrog and come out of the shackles of poverty and really become a competitive and resilient economy. We've talked about infrastructure. From the Connect PNG perspective, it has become a sinkhole. There has been billions of kina funded into Connect PNG with no return on investment. We had Black Wednesday. Straight after Black Wednesday, 610 million kina was given to Connect PNG. The question is, how many Papua New Guineans are employed in these Connect PNG companies compared to all the businesses affected by Black Wednesday? You can see the big disparity. So we have to question, what is the justification and the thinking and the rationale behind this sort of decision-making process? It wasn't in the best interest of the country. So this Connect PNG program has become a sinkhole. When we look at catalysts for development, telecommunications, power, and we look at the continued struggle that we're having with state-owned entities, why is PNG Power, which runs a monopoly in the country for electricity, struggling to make a profit? These are serious questions because it's affecting the whole economy. The government has applied the wrong fiscal policy to overspend and impose the highest taxes in our history. What's more concerning here is the lack of independence of the central bank, which is responsible for managing the monetary policy and effectively use tools like reserve requirements, interest rates, and open market operations to manage the money supply. We need the government to be responsible for the fiscal policy. That's how much government is spending and what taxes to impose, to be separate from the central bank, which regulates our money supply. Right now, this independence no longer exists. We are weakening institutions, and this is affecting the economy. The insatiable appetite to spend has been the impetus for the highest level of borrowing in the nation's history. This government has borrowed 32 billion kina in 5 years. That's all the borrowing that was borrowed from 1975 to 2019. And then we've increased our debt level to 64 billion kina. We've got the highest inflation on record, and we've got a cost of living crisis in the country. We've depleted all our foreign exchange reserves, and now we're applying capital rationing. That means that when businesses want to import, when businesses want to buy products overseas, they can't because of capital rationing. This is affecting the economy. It's affecting how business operates. It's affecting how business conducts business. We're scaring investors. There's an exodus of business owners that are leaving our shores. This is a call to action for the government. We have not considered austerity measures. How do we cut back on spending and make targeted investments? to increase our productive capacity and create more jobs and grow the economy. This requires a competent treasurer to be working full-time, who understands how things work. You've got to look at the diversity in the PNG economy, how people live and operate in the cities and in the settlements, and then in the rural districts. And once you're able to completely understand and harness all the potential, that's when we're going to achieve a breakthrough. And this can't happen when we have a Prime Minister who's also a treasurer. There's just not enough hours in the day. The discussion on the economy must take precedence because of the youth bulge in the country, where we have the highest demographic of young people without opportunity and prospects. This is exacerbated by the highest education attrition rates at over 120,000 students per annum. These people come out, they become school leavers, they can't get a job. What happens to these people? This becomes a big issue for the country. Where will they go? What pressure will they put on social amenities, like the health facilities? What crimes will they commit? And how many babies will they make? Unemployed, without housing. Where does this pressure go? How does it get absorbed? These are serious questions that require more contemplation, more deliberation, more thought. It's a ticking time bomb. The time to take decisive action to save Papua New Guinea is now, for the future of our country and this land of 1,000 tribes. In short, in the last 5 years, we haven't seen any solutions to all these economic woes that have been alluded to by my esteemed leaders and that I've summarized. We have seen that we've just been on a spending spree, and we've spent so much money on Connect PNG and into projects that have no return on investment. And if we look at Ray Dalio's definition of what an economy is, it's the sum of all the transactions, all the spending that takes place in an economy. You've got to ask yourself, has the money in the national government budget been equitably distributed to the 96 districts, the 22 provinces, to ensure that everybody's given a fair chance throughout the country to promote their own economic independence and welfare and growth? The question is no. We've continued to apply selective warranting. There's no integrity in the budget process, and these things lead to micromanagement of the economy, and then the concomitant flow on is that it affects the economy. And then we have a regression in all the socio-economic indicators: health, education, law and order. So the long and the short of it is, this is an important discussion. We will continue it tomorrow. We will continue it in Parliament. I thank you all for coming. The long and the short of it is that we have a problem because the price of rice and tin fish is untenable. Papua New Guineans can't afford it anymore. And that simply shows that in the last 5 years, the reality does not match the rhetoric. Thank you very much.